Dong, and really had a close match. Actually, to my point of view, was very much on the winning streak before Dong was able to turn around the match.
The first game.
So sometimes he's a bit more fragile. So let's see if he will be fragile in the semis against Fang Bo.
Well, love.
Starting off quickly in the backhand to backhand rally. You know, it's true what you mentioned about Dima. That was the best I've seen Dima play, and it felt like he has a real chance in that match. From way off the table. Now this, Fang Bo is so fast. We talked about his leg strength and how comfortable he is off the table. I still think this is not a winning recipe for him to end up that far away. The majority of the points with that positioning for both players are going to go to Vs Dong. And the forehand flip kill as well. But with the ball sitting a little bit higher, you hope that at this level, most players have the confidence to at least go for that shot. It's not quite the same as a serve receive.
I wonder, I remember last time when I see Fang Bo also in 2015, he was producing lots of long service against Zhang Yike on purpose in order to start after the backhand topspin of Zhang Yike to attack directly. I wonder whether he would try to do the same with Vs Dong, who's also very much using the backhand when receiving.
So far, I'm quite impressed with his touch game over the table. He's used both sides of the racket in this.
And that's the same what he was doing against Liang Jiankung, this two-time short. And
right.
You told him, actually,
yeah,
I remember
short to
that.
the forehand. Play short to the forehand. Get into the touch game. Don't go right into the, I guess as Europeans say, the bomba, the big attacks. But that one was decisively long and not enough with Vs Dong's positioning on that ball. It didn't jam him. He still had time to turn and take a quality shot here.
But you see how good he has this touch to let the ball drop short to the forehand. I mean, the last long push to the backhand was not that successful, but this short game is really well.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
Yeah.
Definitely. Look at these lobs! Fang Bo, come on! Lob down Vs Dong. When's the last time? I think Xu Xin did this maybe 2 years ago when the racket flew out of Vs Dong's hand.
And you see this hesitation after he turned the racket, then he turned the racket back to the black rubber. At the end, he's smashing with the black rubber. You see that?
That's extremely unusual. It seems like he's trying to mess up Fang Bo, put a little bit more spin on the ball instead of that fast, you know, real acceleration. The spring that you'd get from the red side of his racket.
And you know, it's a little bit the commentator's curse. I think it's this expression from I have this in mind because we have been talking who can beat Vs Dong. And maybe it's Fang Bo. At least he has much the better start in this game number one.
It's definitely a possibility. Still can't believe we saw him lob. This is the antithesis of the Chinese game. One of the reasons Xu Xin is so great to watch, because he will do it.
6-4.
Thought that clipped the top.
Of Vs Dong. It's also not that straight, a little bit with side when he's opening the ball. That's why the ball stayed very low.
Yeah, that's that quality you talk about. So fast, it's rare to see Fang Bo. He must have been looking for an opportunity to turn.
And he tried. It's the second time he had this surprisingly long service because it worked out before I saw against, for example, Zhang Yike. But Zhang Yike starts to open with the backhand a little bit more spinny. And Vs Dong is accelerating directly whenever he has the chance. That's why Fang Bo was trying to turn around, but just simply not fast enough.
We saw some head shake here. A little bit disappointed after a 3-point streak. Vs Dong's run comes to a short stop for the time being. Fang Bo was up 6-2. An important last point, though, to hang on to the lead. Serious power in the placement right on the, this is in the sweet spot, the crossover point. Phan Zhendong can block it back. Actually, Phan Zhendong can do anything, it seems. It seems like he could even turn it inside out, but with the pace on this ball, and the racket was favoring the forehand a little bit before he got back to the center, which cost him.
8-6.
Bit of a break there for Phan Zhendong.
Again, a very good receive from Fang Bo. See, very aggressive. The ball stayed low. No advantage so far after the service of Phan Zhendong. For Phan Zhendong.
For just a moment, Phan Zhendong softens up, gives him an 80% backhand, and Fang Bo jumps all over it. Here's a fast one. A little bit softer for a moment.
Let. Let.
I love the confidence when a player hits it back into their own side of the table. Something about it just feels so cool and flashy.
Let.
3 in a row, we got a let of turkeys here. Some turkey and lettuce. I'm sure you hear that all the time, though. Oh, I thought it was going to be a 4th. Ah. Can feel the frustration being 2 points away from taking the game and having your second serve to earn 4 game points. I've seen a lot of service errors today. More than usual, it feels. Oh, beautiful rally, and the last one just misconnected. Phan Zhendong playing it more into the body of Fang Bo. The first wide forehand for Fang Bo. Such an impressive shot. And as you mentioned before, we've discussed the short game, the touch of Fang Bo is very impressive.
And I thought he has already all advantages, and then I wonder why he let Phan Zhendong open with his backhand. Why not to put the ball a little bit more to the middle?
Right.
9-0.
That service mistake is hurting Fang Bo. That's really in the wrong moment, in the really the worst timing from 9-6, because everything seemed to be in favor of Fang Bo. Everything seemed to be, he was even winning a backhand rally.
Right, and this is another example of how 1 point can cost you more than 1 point. The mental effect of missing your own serve. Again, 9-6 for Fang Bo when that served happened, and now it's 9-all. Wow.
10-9.
From the position that Fang Bo was in, he tried to play aggressively with the backhand right into the body, but I thought this was going to be Phan Zhendong with a big backhand to win the point off this ball right here. Looked like he was thinking about turning, so he didn't get the proper backswing. Backswing, rather. Game point here for Fang Bo. Let's see how the serve goes. Oh, beautiful shot right down the line, taking the risk. This is bold and strong mental, I would say strong composure from Fang Bo to come back and regroup.
In many ways. First of all, at 9-9, he started again with a long service. He didn't succeed too often with a long service, but he still went to go in that direction. And then after being up 10-9, he was really relying again after a very fast backhand on his strong footwork, really bending the body around to have a winning stroke down the line. I'm really positively surprised by Fang Bo, the way he's playing already against Liang Jiankung, where I was thinking before, okay, it might be a close match. At the end, he was controlling the whole match. And now he's really giving Phan Zhendong a really hard time. And also the way he's playing, especially the short game, it's really on unbelievable high level. I see Phan Zhendong playing with many players, and not that many can receive this service that easily short. And maybe it's, of course, an advantage that they know each other from practice.
Second
but
game,
again, this technique, it's very nice, very smooth, especially from short forehand side. All my credit to Fang Bo there.
So now back in the serving position, starting off game 2 with 1. I'm interested to see Fang Bo on the receive again. We'll talk about that in a few points.
Voilà.
I think that because he's playing it cross court on the diagonal, he has a little bit more forgiveness to keep it short. And the side spin maybe too.
The technique is kind of neutralizing the ball. We had some times when Timo Boll was doing this kind of technique. Here again, yeah, like having the ball not just straight, but neutralize or a little bit with sight.
Right.
Actually, yesterday we have been seeing this kind of technique when Yoshida was playing against Dmitry Ovtcharov. The second ball was short, also was not like straight, but a little bit cutting, a little bit neutralizing the ball.
1-2.
And one option to avoid a short return is doing a long service.
Yes. I think it was Liang Jinkun who was doing that really well. Ooh. Oh, what a point! The crowd goes wild. Fang Bo, how does he get these balls back? Two shots, this one right here completely. This is the bees move where Fan Zhendong just sort of swats around himself to keep the ball in play.
Was just touching the white line and see so much side spin.
I wonder if that caught any of the top edge to change the bounce. The way Fan Zhendong reacted, it seemed like it must have a little bit.
2-3.
And that's what I was expecting a little bit earlier in that game already, this backhand, and Fan Zhendong is the one who's really accelerating throughout the ball down the line.
Oh, the right idea, that swatting backhand. He put a little bit of side spin on that backhand shot. Let's see where it is. There it is. This counter here.
And he saw that Fan Zhendong was opening the backhand side. He wanted to go for the ball down the line.
That's a really good opportunity for Fang Bo. He made the right decision, just missed the shot. So game one, Fang Bo is up 6-2.
Let.
A little bit of turnaround here in the scoreboard.
Very good.
Fine.
Very, very good. I like this style when Fan Zhendong is controlling the first ball, giving Fan Zhendong the chance to accelerate. And then Fan Zhendong accelerate even stronger. Here, one ball to control, and this ball he accelerated. So important to keep the body stability there.
Let. Two, 6.
At this one, he goes with a deeper push into the middle, but still not enough onto the body to cause Fan Zhendong trouble. And this is, again, the agility of Fan Zhendong. The ball was pretty well placed on the body, but he was so quick to get the upper body out of the way for the forehand.
He's also a little bit like Ma Long, able to get down the ball, to get down the legs very much. I mean, from agility, Ma Long is still a little bit on the higher level in comparison to Fan Zhendong.
2-7.
So this was the turning point in the last game where Fan Zhendong started to come back from down 2-6, but Fang Bo hasn't been able to return the favor to mirror the response. Not yet.
Two.
Tough to tell if that one was there. But this is a player who's realizing that not a lot is working this game. Maybe he has to change something up.
In Fan Zhendong did quite smart in the beginning of game number 2, just like opening with long service and these kind of things that very good. Accelerating with the backhand, finding this ball down the line. So he changed some small things in order to avoid the short game of Fang Bo.
Shot block is back. really, when you think about Phan Zhendong, I mean, he's just got so much power, but he's got the touch too. We talked about how he won the point of the year in 2016. We just saw the chop block.
Whoa.
And this time he was out-touched. A little bit outperformed on that brushing side spin backhand. Phang Bo saves a game point. But just one. Quick trade of points there at the end and a dominant game to respond to losing by 2 in the last.
I was really thinking after this game number 1 that Phan Zhendong would maybe start to tumble a little bit. But at the end, he really went to this higher level. And Phang Bo at this moment, whenever it came to this backhand, he was just not on this level as Phan Zhendong was doing, especially when switching the ball down the line. This backhand in the cross court, Phan Zhendong and Phang Bo especially can keep up with Phan Zhendong. But nobody is able to switch this ball down the line as Phan Zhendong can be doing, for sure not Phang Bo.
Right. You know, I think about mental toughness, mental composure. After losing game 1 and coming back with such a dominant performance, remember, neither of these players has a coach in the corner. They're out here on their own. Phan Zhendong has been winning World Tour events for 4 years now. I mean, when he was 16 years old, he took his first title, and he's been playing actively on the World Tour. So he, even at 20 years old, has this experience and some real mental toughness.
One love.
Wrong side of the table for a second. I was like, is this a drop shot? Oh, beautiful.
I love that. That was nearly jumping twice on the table of Phang Bo.
Let's see one more time.
See, very, very low.
And it was over the net, too. It was just so close to the net. Fooled on the serve. That's as strong as a combination as you can get. Hides it till the last moment. And, of course, legally, but disguises the serve. Doesn't give any telegraphing. Fools Phan Zhendong and then plays it hooking away to the very corner of the table, and that's what it takes.
Two all.
Smart played by Phang Bo, just like avoiding this backhand, because, as I said before, backhand, Phan Zhendong at the end will be the one who's switching the ball down the line. What Phang Bo can do is like placing the first ball already in the middle to avoid this backhand.
2-3.
Again, very low, but this time he was already moving inside the table. Then after he realized the ball is dropping out half long, he had to move backwards, and that's why he missed the timing.
3 all.
Still a little bit too close to the table to get into the lobbing rally.
And what I don't understand, I'm usually this match in the morning and also the match Phang Bo is playing now with Phan Zhendong. I'm quite a fan of Phang Bo, but what I don't understand that he's always opening with a long push to Phan Zhendong's backhand. Why not to choose the middle or maybe sometimes even the forehand?
5-3.
Because whenever it comes to terms of getting this backhand going, the first backhand of Phan Zhendong, and the next ball he will switch directly down the line. This maybe Dmitry Ovcharov can do on the same level, but for sure Phang Bo is always running a little bit behind these balls.
5-4.
That's the
There we go.
placement. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to avoid this backhand, because whenever it's getting to this rally, Fang Bo will be the one only to react. But this first ball to attack through the middle, that might be a way.
Well, it's interesting whether Phan Zhendong is better with his forehand or his backhand. If he's expecting it to his backhand, it's better to go somewhere else. You get a little bit of hesitation. We saw that in the last point.
5-6.
The problem is, I mean, he's like really a player, very good with forehand and very good with backhand. But
Right.
just if you get sometimes an easy ball, you get it more often through the middle and the forehand than to the backhand.
Six all.
This long service, we always have to keep this in mind. Fang Bo did use already in 2015 very often against Zhang Yike as a backhand-oriented player. And he's using it also quite often now against Phan Zhendong.
And I think this is also the whole breaking the pattern, keeping the opponent guessing. Once a pattern seems predictable, it's going to be really tough to get the shots you want.
7-6.
So just like the long pushes to the middle, to the forehand,
Yeah.
the long serves from time to time will keep the receiver honest. Or at least force them to hesitate before setting up for, say, a banana flip or something similar.
This time is better. 2 times short, and he has a very nice and clean touch of neutralizing the service of Phan Zhendong. And then he chose long to the middle, and there he got an, let's say, an easier point from Phan Zhendong. Then always putting the ball long into the backhand side, where Phan Zhendong feels quite good in order to use the backhand. Now let's guess if another long service is coming. He's trying, he's still brave, but this time Phan Zhendong was ready on that long service, just like switching the ball down the line again directly. Fang Bo would have been ready to have a counter topspin on this backhand in case the ball would have been coming to the backhand side of Fang Bo. That was very, very fast. It was like a double shot, unbelievable. And I thought Fang Bo was ready to really accelerate himself. And you see, this is exactly what Phan Zhendong was practicing all the time. Opening fast with the backhand another time, to always move towards the ball.
9-8.
Good shot from Fang Bo, but due to the fact that the service was a bit too high.
I'm trying to think of the last time I saw Phan Zhendong melt under pressure. You know, we've seen for years Ma Long coming up against tough opponents in high-pressure situations.
Very good. Very good there. I mean, it was brave return from Phan Zhendong, but you see there, even it was a bit on one leg there and still steering the ball from the deep forehand down the line, not only in cross-court, but down the line.
That.
Lucky for Fang Bo that this service touched the net.
Yeah, he probably would have been eating the third ball tomorrow morning for breakfast.
Let.
Now, we remember what happened last time, that he had a third let and then the service error for the fourth ball. No third let, gets the forehand attack, saves the game point, has one more to go with the serve. Was it Koki Niwa who was giving those really risky serves? I can't remember earlier today, someone served long twice in a row and got the point on both of them.
I also cannot remember. Might have been Koki Niwa. Or Chuan Chuan.
I think it was Chuan Chuan who did it.
10 all.
Against Koki Niwa. And so here I was just thinking, this is a long serve, right, to the backhand. Bit of surprise, watch where this goes. Smart play. Very effective use of a long serve.
And very often, I mean, I think about 40%. This service is long.
Definitely more often than most players. And he went back to the push into the backhand side for the long opening push.
I mean, sometimes when you're really a bit late, and he was trying actually to have it a little bit more to the middle, but Phan Zedong was doing this step to the middle with the backhand. And then after the first acceleration of Fang Bo, Phan Zedong showed Fang Bo, now I show you a really acceleration with the backhand. No, this backhand, it's really unbelievable what Phan Zedong is playing altogether.
And a quick escape, 12-10 after some back and forth rallies. Fang Bo was fighting to take this and send it to deuce. It looked like for a minute they were going to bump into each other there near the table.
This would be probably actually in favor of Phan Zedong.
If they bumped into each other, yeah. Xiao Pong would win in the head-to-head collision. So a very impressive response from Fang Bo in game 3, but not enough to come back. He's coming off of an 11-3 loss. So yeah, you were going to say?
Fang Bo is doing it really in a good way, tactically, from the tactical skills, because he has this receive shot to the forehand, which is very good. He has the long service. He's doing quite a lot, and that causes trouble altogether for Phan Zedong. For me, I would try on Fang Bo's side to, after this short game, try to avoid that Fang Bo is playing too easily the backhand. Because with the backhand, he can also use the wrist a little bit more, or if he has more time to accelerate, not only with wrist, but with forearm. So that's something I would change there altogether. But Fang Bo is doing a good job there.
The first
We'll see if
game,
he's able to keep it up
level.
here as we start game 4. Phan Zedong on the receive in orange.
love one.
It's not the first time we've seen the opening backhand and then the follow-up backhand down the line go just out for Fang Bo.
He's trying to avoid this backhand because you know whenever he's not using the chance, then Phan Zedong will go for the ball down the line.
Beautiful angle this time, quickly going for the wide shot with the inside-out backhand. And it was that receive right off the bounce again, the cutting one with a little bit of side spin on it.
If you come from a little bit above and then you just like let the ball or let your hand move a bit to the side, then you also produce a kind of a side spin. It's not like a clean short ball or a drop shot. A little bit side spin, up spin. Difficult to play 2 times short.
1-2.
Right, not only for the placement on the table, but also for your opponent to try and keep it short, as you were saying, is very difficult.
Three, 1.
Just thinking a little bit about the technique of Fang Bo, especially the forehand technique. It's a little bit shorter if you compare to Phan Zedong or Ma Long. This movement is not that much with a long arm. It's a little bit with a shorter arm.
Pulled in a little bit more European style.
A bit more.
Right. I mean, still not European, of course. We see some of these huge strokes. Yeah, I think Xu Xin's has got to be the longest stroke in the men's game.
Yeah. But also the guys like Phan Zedong, Zhang Yike and Ma Long, they have in comparison longer movements than Fang Bo.
True.
2-4.
And this is like perfect technique, so low, so ready with the hands to follow.
Oh, after the backhand down the line, for that not to win, it just shows you Phan Zedong is not giving up for a moment, and he's so good on the run.
And this is happening quite often. You see, very good. And then he was hesitating a bit. The ball was jumping up, and he's not coming up with the hand enough. That's why he was missing.
Right, he's going to have to take it a little bit earlier, it seems.
And stepping in the ball.
Yes.
4 all.
It's been a while since we've seen a pushing point never really open up, that Fang Bo was losing in the push game.
And we mentioned before that it's so important to have this backhand banana flick. But these two players, they show they are also not only relying on the backhand banana, but also being able to play short above the table.
Once again, the long serve works out to the advantage of Fang Bo. You know, watching it from here, just the element of surprise, it's consistently surprising. That's why he can serve it twice as often as any other player.
And the service is like surprisingly long and surprisingly fast.
Yes.
It's really fast.
I guess that's how a long serve has to be, right? That's the idea.
Okay, sometimes it surprises you, but then you can still produce a good spin. But like the level Fang Bo is producing this long service is also really fast there and not that easy to react, even if you would have known the ball is coming long, the service is coming long.
Right. Oh, backhand to backhand. They just keep raising the stakes. As hard as Fang Bo is hitting it, finally Fan Zhendong cracks it back even harder, and Fang Bo hits it once again with the backhand.
From this view, you can see perfect how everybody's trying to accelerate.
Right. Haven't seen that in a while, coming all the way around for a short push with the backhand on the short forehand side.
We talked about that before. Sometimes it's really good because everybody's expecting this banana flick, and in order to react on that, many players, they're doing the step backwards. And then in one moment, you just let the ball drop, and then many players are late, as Fan Zhendong was right now.
Oh, finally it misses wide.
8-5.
I can't believe how many times. I had no idea that Fang Bo could lob so effectively. I was watching to see the twiddle of the racket, but I don't think Fan Zhendong would go back to black after that last point that he lost.
No.
Realized that might have been a mistake. From this angle, you can really see the ball just coming up so high.
So high, so long.
Right, have to be deep on the table, some good topspin. Once again, beautiful long serve right at the baseline of the table to hang on to the 4-point lead, get it right back. And this one was a pendulum.
Next.
I like this technique that is producing this neutralizing, this pendulum service of Fan Zhendong, short into the forehand. Very
Clever
good
play.
Very good. This is really, I like this, to be honest, I like this game. I've seen lots of table tennis these last years, but this match I like because it's not only the long rally, it's also so much about right tactique, choosing different positioning of the ball.
11-5.
And it's a big challenge for Fan Zhendong. It's a long way to go.
Well, definitely Fang Bo showing that he's resilient out here. Remember, he lost 3-11 in game 2, comes back, loses a deuce game, which could be quite tough mentally after playing so well, but he comes back to dominate in game 4, and we're tied up at 2 games each.
Do you remember what Liu Guoliang said about Fang Bo?
I'm trying to remember.
Because I think everybody get a sentence in a way, and Fan Zhendong, I remember also like...
You should go... Oh no, that was Yu Tse-Yang he told to go play with the women, right?
No, yeah, exactly. No. Fan Zhendong got this extra...
Oh, Fan Zhendong or
Fan
Fang Bo?
Fan Zhendong was like from Liu Guoliang in a positive way, I think.
He was the only compliment I heard.
And Fang Bo, but I'm not sure I was reading something that Liu Guoliang said something to Fang Bo. But actually, if Liu Guoliang, and I'm sure he's watching some streaming now, if Fang Bo sees him,
level.
I think he will be positive, because Fang Bo is really doing some good ideas. He delivers really quite some problems for Fan Zhendong. Good acceleration there, close to the table, and Fan Zhendong is moving away from the table. A little bit surprising here.
Yeah, once again for me, the backhand of Fang Bo is just blowing my mind. something I wasn't aware he was so strong in.
Let.
Oh, the edge of the table for Phan Zhendong. That's a solid shot anyway with the hooking side spin. But I think Fang Bo would get it back for a wide counter loop if it doesn't catch the edge.
To my point of view, the return of Phan Zhendong long to the backhand of Fang Bo, this makes sense. But one more time, I'm coming back. This long receive after short of Fang Bo to the backhand of Phan Zhendong, I'm not sure about.
Yeah, the percentages have been much weaker, or not in the favor of Fang Bo when he does go long to the backhand in the push game. As you mentioned, middle, forehand.
1-2.
Felt like right away he knew he hadn't surprised, like he made the wrong decision to play somewhere that Phan Zhendong was already steadily waiting for.
Again, the long service worked out. I mean, it's a little bit in the strategy altogether of Phan Zhendong that he likes to receive with a backhand. So he's always in the move towards the ball. So it's not that easy to react on the long service altogether. He's very close to the table. You have to be if you want to receive so much with the backhand.
Right. And even from right behind the table, it's just a shorter stroke. So as far as the cost and time, there's more backswing on the forehand. It's easier to get driven off the table when the ball's returned. For example, right to the middle, he has to step behind with the right foot, turn on it a little bit. There's more turn and twist with that forehand shot as well.
You see, you mentioned the right foot. Usually with the backhand, the right foot is a little bit in front. With the forehand, if the right foot also is in front, it's not that easy to accelerate at the end. So they have to open the side or they have to twist the body.
Three, four.
And this time he was ready for the long service. Yeah, again, very, very good receive there from Fang Bo. And I wonder why Phan Zhendong from time to time is not changing this by serving a bit more through the backhand side, not always to the forehand, because whenever Phan Zhendong is able to keep this ball short, it's causing quite some trouble for Phan Zhendong.
He might need to take a page from the Fang Bo book and serve long into the backhand from time to time. Too strong. This time, Phan Zhendong gets in quickly for that backhand, and it's so powerful.
And it's also, sometimes, these kind of things are coming to my mind. I'm sure that Phan Zhendong knows about the strength of Fang Bo, but sometimes he probably feels, okay, I can also play this as good, and why I should change something like that.
Right. Sometimes it almost feels like a stubborn thing, like I refuse to have to change my game. I'm going to win how I want to win.
4-7.
But this is something, I mean, pride gets in. You wouldn't think it'd be a big issue, but on a deep level, this could be a pride issue that someone refuses to change their game and they want to use their signature shot. In the end, whatever wins the match wins the match.
Definitely.
Some of the most proud wins I've ever had in my life were the ugliest matches I've ever played in my life, and way out of character, too.
Very good. And now some small things that Phan Zhendong did change already in the last game. Like after this short, he's opening into the backhand of Phan Zhendong, which totally makes sense. Because first of all, if you open down the line from short forehand, it's not that easy to play from Fang Bo down the line back again. But usually the ball you expect in the backhand half. And then Phan Zhendong is again in the part of the game that he likes to play.
There's a nice play to the middle, right into the body, aggressively. You know, I was looking for in the Lu Goliang speech for the Fangbo part, and maybe I just didn't see the whole transcription here, but the one thing I could find was that he was able to beat Liang Jinquin, which put some hesitation on the whole success of Liang Jinquin.
That was good. That was good. Just drifting out a very little bit off the table, and this time Phan Zhendong doesn't let the ball drop, but just like go for the ball, really accelerating. We will see here. Just helped the net a little bit. That's why the ball came out from Fangbo's side.
With that much time to take the backhand, it's sort of surprising Fangbo hasn't, and he's played so well and connected with so many backhands whenever he's given the opportunity in this match. So 5 game points for Phan Zhendong.
Left.
There's that quick.
Come on, give us another long service.
Yeah, let's see that. That was an odd one. It seemed like it got away from him.
I think I also didn't touch the ball right. It was a little bit high.
That actually happened earlier with Tomokazu Harimoto in the practice while we were playing. It came off the racket wrong, but it was so surprising it had a similar effect.
11-6.
There it is, the third game for Phan Zhendong, 11-6. This is quite back and forth between these two. It's really tough to tell, seesawing which way it's going to go. From the start of this match, we favored Phan Zhendong. On paper, he's the stronger player. Head-to-head on the World Tour, Phan Zhendong is 3-0 against Fangbo. They've played 3 times, and not yet has Phan Zhendong lost a match to Fangbo on the World Tour. We'll have to see here. Fangbo has come back from more, well, I guess after the 11-3 loss and then the deuce loss after. But he doesn't have that luxury of losing one more at deuce this time.
Yeah.
He has to turn it around quickly.
But to be honest, okay, in this last game, Phan Zhendong, the longer the game took, the better the control was, and he feels, I think, quite comfortable. But as we see, the first games, they were really open, and Fangbo, he has a good start there. I'm also quite sure he's ready to get to the 7th game.
Thanks to serve, level.
To my point of view, really, from tactically wise and some very good rallies so far, really a very, very good match we see here.
Yeah, it's been outstanding to watch.
Level.
It's always interesting to me trying to read the body language and facial expressions. Don't have much to say yet about Fangbo, but definitely not clearly positive at this point.
Yeah.
1-0.
But still quite concentrated and quite focused and not negative, at least.
Right. From a footwork standpoint in this point, you can see he's willing to work. He's quick to move. I mean, he wants to be in the right spot for every shot here. Give himself the best opportunity at every ball. Wow.
1-2.
Yeah, I mean, he was really patient in the push game there. Several times you could just feel like it was a hot potato and it was about to explode. Somebody was going to go for the attack first, but he waits, and finally at the back of the table, quality shot, a little bit central. Oh,
yeah.
2-all.
It's not the first time I've seen Fangbo lose his footing before. He's so fast to turn sometimes. But a little surprised he's about to turn the corner.
And you see the body language there from Phan Zhendong really offers Fangbo, I will do this flick cross-court into your backhand. And then in the last moment, he's switching the wrist. That's why it was also this slippery movement from Fangbo.
He faked him out.
Trying again this flick down the line. That's a little bit new. That actually helped Phan Zhendong not to rely only on this short game.
And a late decision there. Phan Zhendong rather, trying to make an attack here at the last moment.
And it's really amazing how good control Fangbo has above the table. And that's maybe something everybody has to keep in mind when you're playing Fan Zedong.
I hope somebody makes a GIF of that moment where Fan Zedong was talking to himself with his eyes mostly shut. You could really fill in the blank for so many things. What did he say in that moment? I had this look of, come on, man, you know better. Ooh,
very good. Very good save there.
5-3.
Yeah, after that touch shot, I want to see this point again. I can't even remember what it was that opened up. Right, the backhand push to start, and then he leaves that one a little too high. And then the soft sort of retrieving ball, and Fan Zedong goes soft as well, but then quickly a big counter to come back in.
And you see, suddenly it's 5-3 for Fang Bo.
And a much better response. Long serve this time, Fan Zedong seemed quite ready for. Maybe he's starting to read the signs, find the tells that the long serve is coming. He's predicting it a little bit more there.
That's something like all the players are trying to do, maybe to find a way. One guy's lifting the shoulder a little bit, or having a different position when coming in the long service.
Just any little thing. It doesn't even have to be the motion on the serve. You know, at a lower level, anytime you see someone step inside the line from the pendulum position in the backhand corner, you start to cover the down the line serve. At this level, they skip that step. They hide it quite well.
5.
That receive, you know, the sound when he hits the table and he just sort of chips in, digs in. Usually it's a bit shorter, and Fan Zedong doesn't have this opportunity.
The service, that's what you're talking about, the service of Fan Zedong. The service was a little bit longer this time. And that's always the risk when you want to have this aggressive short ball, that you are moving towards the ball, not waiting the ball to come out.
Seven, 5.
Can't quite be in game 7 yet, but it's looking like a real possibility that Fang Bo could take us to the deciding 7th.
Was a little bit late for accelerating this ball. Could have just gone for the ball, like a spinny topspin in the backhand side of Fang Bo.
This is deja vu. This just happened, except it was the serve you had mentioned, the longer serve before. It's tough for me to see if Fan Zedong pulled the same. Let's see the distance on this touch shot. A little bit deeper on the table, so it's the same tactic. It's just used mid-rally.
Against many players who are very good in this short, that's quite common to start to play a bit longer and to hope they're not ready to start on that half long.
Right, they're still set in the push game. Think it's shorter than it is.
7-0.
This time I think Fan Zedong was ready for the rhythm, and he was waiting on this long service, maybe a bit guessing, maybe just like fast enough, and he didn't even have to switch the ball down the line. He was just ready to play that ball cross, and Fang Bo was not ready to turn around as the backhand topspin was simply too fast from Fan Zedong. Now it's about time for timeout, ladies and gentlemen.
Did he motion at all?
No,
okay.
Not at all. Not at all. But
good call, good call.
But smart from Fan Zedong to have again this flick down the line, not playing short, down the line and ready to have this connection, to have the counter spin going.
So you weren't feeling timeout at 7-6?
8-7.
Well, I mean, when he was down, or when he was still up.
Yeah, like, okay, no, I think this was the right way to do the timeout.
Okay.
I wouldn't have called for timeout earlier. I think I would have also called timeout exactly in this moment.
Then I think that is the right decision. If Richard Prowse says timeout now, I say timeout now, sir. Trying to think about what it will be. You know, the long serve has been effective throughout, but it's become so frequent that it's become a little bit predictable. Whether it's a question of placement, just change of placement, maybe a little bit whether it's middle of the table, half long. I mean, he's on the receive now for the second serve, but he's got
8-7.
some serves to think about as well.
I think from Van der Dong's side, I'm not sure if it's a long service coming. Just a little bit upspin in the forehand, probably.
8-all.
And now it's the question whether Fang Bo will go again for the long service. Last time, when it's getting close to the end of the game, he was brave.
He's got to mix it up a bit.
Let.
Woo, what a let it was.
Remember, 3 let is 1 service mistake.
Two in a row. Wow, Fan Zhendong, this is sportsmanship.
8-all.
I mean, it wasn't clear to me from here. It didn't seem to be clear to Fang Bo or the refs. Maybe Fang Bo noticed, just didn't say anything. That almost felt like the last point that was played that was a let.
And now the first time Fang Bo showed a little bit something of frustration. See that, a little bit nodding the head, shaking the head.
He has a very laid-back way about him. He's a very comical guy in general. So even in his worst moments, he still seems to be okay with himself. Just a little bit disappointment for sure. And there is the long serve. Counter loop rally starts, and Fang Bo takes it, ties it up at 9 each in game 6.
Very good reaction there, down the line from the placement, and there this first topspin of Fang Bo has a little bit of a hook, and Van der Dong was not moving enough into the ball. Here you can see.
Yes, it starts off looking like it's going to hit him in the body, and then it hooks out to the forehand side. To execute that long serve with such precision, bravery. Oh, he takes his time.
9.
Earns the opportunity, tries to let the arm drag behind and play it deep to the backhand, misleading Fan Zhendong, but it just doesn't come down.
Was, I think, a good chance for Fang Bo, just like hesitated a very little bit.
Okay.
So now match point for Fan Zhendong. Oh, but not yet. Fang Bo stays in it. Again, it's a test of patience and touch over the table. Fang Bo is so impressive in the short forehand game.
Very good there.
I love the wrist of Fang Bo, how he comes in with the wrist really laid back like a lounge chair by a pool, just sort of coming under the ball softly. So deuce here in game 6. We saw a bold, fast, long serve last time he had it. Interestingly enough, he gets the point, but watching the movement of Fan Zhendong, it felt like the long serve would have worked had he gone with it. Fan Zhendong anticipating and quickly coming in. Either way, Fang Bo here with a game point.
And above the table, this short, Fang Bo has altogether a little bit of advantage, I believe, still.
Yeah.
No, this is reaction shot, unbelievable. Because usually Fang Bo was doing all the time these short drop shots, and this time coming with the backhand down the line, the short way, and Fang Bo and Fan der Dong was still there.
Right, I mean, a surprise like that to react to it, that's just unbelievable. That's such a good plan for Fang Bo to win this game. Another chance here at the serve, second deuce point this game. This time he plays it a little more to the middle rather than the backhand.
But not fast enough.
Right. Fast, but not fast enough. The time before, Fan Zhendong was moving in more. And again, if it's deep to the backhand with Fan Zhendong moving, it might be more effective. One more match point for Fan Zhendong.
Let's see if this time he's changing the service a bit.
It's a whole lot of thinking going on there. Nope, not yet. Fang Bo staying in. The touch, he's just keeping it low enough. The hand to the forehead, we don't see that too often. That was almost a cute moment of disappointment for Xiaopeng out here. And there we go. Oh, I love it. the counter. Smart placement for Phan Zhendong, but these are some explosive forehands under pressure from Fang Bo.
Very good there, and I thought it was already the point of Fang Bo.
Two big shots there to get Phan Zhendong off the table and on the run.
And now I'm really curious to see what kind of service, if Phan Zhendong is ready to change something, or if he relies on the reverse service.
Grunt for grunt. Two shots in that. I thought it was done. I thought Fang Bo was out of this tournament, but he survived. And the second grunt from Fang Bo that we heard, he's just digging so deep to stay in it.
And there was 2 times the chance for Phan Zhendong to move Fang Bo down the line, and he preferred to stay in the cross, in the forehand cross. Maybe that would have been the chance for Phan Zhendong to ending that game.
Now this is one different approach on the temple. You know, we've seen a lot of different ways to wear in the ball. Dima sometimes putting it in the mouth, like the classic old players. We see people wipe it in their sweaty shirt. Fang Bo straight to the temple, got table tennis on the brain now. That's what he's doing. Just seeps in through the skin, into the brain. 4th deuce point this game. Ooh, look at this, heavy underspin and forehand side.
Not happy with the decision he was taking right now.
A lot of side on it too, you could see the kick. Another game point for Fang Bo on the receive. Remember that backhand flip he did last time? And it works, the push to the middle, right into the body. Smart play, and Fang Bo at 15-13 is not ready to have this match finished. It's going to a deciding game 7. So as I like to say, grab whatever snack you got, grab a drink, get a comfy seat, because the decider's coming up in just a moment.
And to serve,
and here we are in table tennis dreamland. It's game 7. Fang Bo playing an outstanding match against world number 2 Phan Zhendong with the serve. Oh, right into the face off the edge of the racket. Maybe the chin there. But this time there's no messing around. Every time the ball comes to the forehand side, the counter loop of Fang Bo, then back into the lob of the backhand. Let's see it one more time here, this last shot. Edge of the racket, ooh, that Smurfs. First point to Phan Zhendong, second serve here. And this one's sitting up just a little bit, but Phan Zhendong seems quite determined to really focusing at the lift he needs from over the table on this forehand attack. And again, it comes down to the length of the serve that earns the length of the push. A little bit longer serve, much tougher to keep short in the push game. Wow, these reactions so fast. Phan Zhendong again. It feels like forever ago we were talking about how Phan Zhendong is everywhere. And right now that's exactly where he is. Little help from the top of the net. Fang Bo gets his first point. But again, it's that side spin on the push that helps him keep the ball short to the forehand.
Let.
Even in the let service, you can see the use of that side spin. Only 2 lets from Phan Zhendong, and now 2 points to Fang Bo. Wondering if we're going to see a timeout anytime from Phan Zhendong. Looked like he was considering it for a moment after taking the first 3 points and a little bit of a run here in Game 7 for Fang Bo. Ooh, top of the net and out. Well placed onto the body, though. Smart play from Phan Zhendong to not go to the wings. And the start of the rally is strong for Fang Bo, but he's backed off the table. Phan Zhendong once again. Let's look at this, the moment. Just long at the back of the table, squatting low to the ground and playing that ball a little bit more into the elbow, right near the body. So as it's Game 7, the players switch sides for an equal amount of time on each half of the table. It's Phan Zhendong leading 5-2 on the receive at the top of the screen.
5-3.
Again, the backhand of Fang Bo close to the table, much more effective. See this early on in the point. Fang Bo going for the attack, but still just not strong enough to put the pressure on Phan Zhendong to make him uncomfortable with the next counterattack. We've seen greater comebacks, but right now, a bit of a deficit here, a bit of a hole for Fang Bo to dig himself out of. Long push, just a little bit too clear to the forehand. And when the time for the long push that Fang Bo has used effectively is in the short game when he's got Phan Zhendong over the table. But I think that Phan Zhendong was right on the line in between, ready to come in for the short push, but right at the baseline of the table. A nice in-between neutral zone, ready for the attack.
8-4.
Heavy underspin pendulum serve again, half long to the middle. Timeout, are we gonna see it? There's a lot of thought going on right here for Phan Zhendong. You can hear the crowd here, a lot of Chinese supporters and fans in the crowd. Fang Bo, Phan Zhendong, it's who can scream for their player loudest. Outstanding play, the misdirection comes in over the table. We got the timeout from Phan Zhendong with a 2-point lead. He was up 8-3, 3 in a row here for Fang Bo. It's interesting what brings popularity to different players and where Fang Bo's real popularity came from. And it wasn't the 2015 Suzhou World Championships. It seemed like it was the Olympic Games where he showed a little bit of behind the scenes and brought some personality to the Chinese team through Weibo. Since then has been quite popular on the internet. Phan Zhendong, of course, is one of the 2 best players in the world currently. Let's see how the mental toughness of the 20-year-old, how the time in the corner by himself, and a short timeout nonetheless, coming back to the table quickly. I think this is also smart, coming back to the table when you feel good, when you feel ready. Sometimes sitting in a timeout too long come back, it's not the
6-8.
right moment. It actually didn't do you any help. It might have done you some harm. Regardless, he lost the last 3 points. So trying to change something up here, slowing down the streak for Phong Bo. Beautiful receive.
6-9.
Long serve. Phan Zhendong waits patiently. It's almost as if he anticipated the long serve was coming. Let's see the movement. Standing there nice and central on the table. The placement couldn't have been much better from Phong Bo, deep to the backhand corner.
Nine-7.
And where the heavy underspin was on the pendulum serve the last 2 times, it was a little more to the forehand. This time, Phong Bo floats it a little bit. Phan Zhendong lifting just up and out. 2 points away from moving on to meet Ma Long in the final. Oh, just long. Phong Bo completely capable of this shot. Both players digging so deep. There were about 2 balls in this rally that Phong Bo pulled out. I couldn't believe he kept in play. There's one. Big backhand. There's a little more time on this forehand. And now 3 match points for Phan Zhendong. Not yet, and once again, Phong Bo saving a match point. Third towel break of the game. The serve. Let's see what comes up here. Phong Bo has the opportunity to tie it up with 2 serves if he takes both for points. No, that's it. Xiaopeng moves on 11-8 in Game 7 over Phong Bo, and what a match it was. Absolutely tested down to the wire here. It's going to be a table for 2 tomorrow, and Ma Long will be having this dinner date with Phan Zhendong in the men's singles final tomorrow. What a match to experience here with Phong Bo. Very impressive play. I would not be surprised to see him earning a ticket to the World Championships in Dusseldorf at the end of May 2017. But it's Phan Zhendong and Ma Long who will battle for the title. World rank number 1 versus world rank number 2 right here tomorrow at the Qatar Open. And there was the recap on screen of the scores. What a day it has been. All the way from the quarterfinals, men's and women's. You can see right there what happened. We've got 4 matches left.